Here. We are then moving to another part of the world where Devasish Roy will give some perspectives on the developments and situations in the Chittagong Hill Tract. So, please, Devasish.
Like many of you here, I look forward to getting a copy of the yearbook. And this year, I got mine in advance. And guess why? Catherine asked me to speak. And I said, I can't speak without reading the book. So I got myself an advance copy. And this book covers the Chittagong Hill Tracts region in Bangladesh, where I come from, which is on the southeast bordering Burma. And it also tells you, the part on the Chittagong Hill Tracts tells you the background of our region, the long 20-plus year armed struggle, underground movement. In fact, we have two former members of the underground here with us. Tells us about the peace accord. And there's one thing it tells us, the association that IFGIA has had with the people of the Chittagong Hill Tracts, which is 1984 or something like that, which is 20-plus years. When the Hill Tracts human rights situation is so bad, there are still difficulties, it's less bad now, where a commission, an international civil society commission, was formed to pressurize the government of Bangladesh, in other words, to improve the human rights situation. And in between, we have had a peace accord in 1997 with limited autonomy, land rights, juridical rights, etc. There is a problem of implementation, and the sort of wheel comes, the cycle comes again with a new Chittagong Hill Tracts Commission being constituted, and this time it includes both, as co-chairs, a member of the House of Lords in the UK, a former member of the Permanent Forum, and a renowned lawyer from Bangladesh to keep the pressure up. The yearbook, I think, as I think Daly has also said, apart from that, there are many other publications that IFGIA does. And we in the Hill Tracts and in Bangladesh and other parts of Asia have benefited a lot. In the case of Chittagong Hill Tracts, there was a publication on land rights. There was something on peace accords and I think peace processes. And there was many, many books that many of us have benefited from. One is actually the one many years ago, I think, Catherine, you had edited. Now you're back to the editing again. On elections, political parties, and indigenous peoples. And this really tells you the difficult links between and how, a place like Nepal, I'm looking at my sister and brother here in Nepal, despite having a large number of indigenous people in the new Constituent Assembly, how difficult it is when you operate through a system of elections and political parties and get your voice heard in today's modern states. Anyway, these are the things, some of the things that the yearbook and other publications come across, and I think I have to prove that I've read the book. So I'll tell you a little bit more about what's on the Chittagong Hill Tracts, apart from the background of our region, where we have colonization during the British period, and then Pakistan, then we find ourselves in Bangladesh, and then there was militarization. There still is militarization, but there was the peace accord I told you about. The yearbook tells you about violation of human rights, civil and political rights, like detention, arrests, unlawful killings. It tells you about violation of land rights. For example, the plains. We have my sister and brother from the plains regions or northern hills of Bangladesh, where on the forest areas of Madhupur in the north, Shandhi Drong comes from there, and south and the northeast, where there is another forest area, the Khasi and other people come. There have been violation of land rights in the name of forestry. In the north, where another friend, Ravindranath Soren, comes from, it tells you about the structured discrimination against indigenous peoples in Bangladesh. But it also tells you a few happy stories as well, including, for the first time, the Chittagong Hill Tracts has a justice system where civil judges are operating under the Supreme Court instead of bureaucrats and civil servants running the courts. It also tells you that about this year's Chittagong Hill Tracts Commission. I told you about a number of meetings and conferences held with regard to the promotion of indigenous people's rights, including ILO Convention on Indigenous and Tribal Populations of 1957, which Bangladesh has ratified. And I would like to end here by again thanking our friends at IFGEA for the very dedicated work they put to promote the rights of indigenous peoples. And as friends, I think many times we speak out our difficulties as well, and we have done it. But I think over the years, it's been a very good partnership between IFGEA and the indigenous peoples, and I look forward to reading, like many of you, the other chapters on the other regions as well, which really promotes solidarity amongst indigenous peoples and is an excellent source of reference which I have myself used. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Devasish. We will take an opportunity for some questions a little bit later, but first I will ask if